Hey, what is going on? All right, a little while ago, I had an idea of creating some videos where I talk about different individuals, corporations, or products that you might be interested in that you've never heard of. And the reason that we were going to talk about that is because we have entered and are fully into a culture where a lot of the historical entities that we have used to get information or be entertained or buy our products, those have been captured. That's the word I use because I feel like that's the perfect way to put it. These are groups that still have possibly very, very good people in them that are trying to do the best that they can. But the problem is there is a cord of momentum that's running or directing these groups or these organizations that clearly have a narrative or an agenda that they want to promote. And so they have become the authors and identifiers of all things truth, all things science, all things hateful, and anything that they deem counter to their narrative. It gets at the minimum sidelined and pushed off, or at the most canceled or terminated from them. And they're big enough and they're powerful enough that they can kind of do it. A lot of these groups are entertainment groups, are media, our health and medical groups, our corporations, and our politics, obviously. So our political systems. So anyway, in regard to that, if you do nothing, you are probably just going to continue to be exposed to the things that they want you to be exposed to. You're going to automatically, by default, run into these groups and organizations, and you're going to hear what they want you to hear. And things that are hateful are going to be defined by them, and things that are appropriate are going to be defined by them. And you're going to be told that you're good if you do what they say, and you're going to be told that you're bad if you don't do what they say. And so we are fully into that day and age. So that's the bad news. The good news is there's a lot of people, companies, and products that are available to people who still want to think for themselves, who still want to believe in free speech, believe in the free exchange of ideas, freedom, liberty, all of these kinds of things. And they are out there doing a lot of hard work. They are risking their reputations, they're risking their livelihoods, they are risking their lives, honestly, in some situations. So those types of people are worth getting some recognition, and at the very minimum, they're worth you understanding who they are and knowing about them. And so I'm going to talked about this a few weeks ago about releasing a series of videos where I review some of those people and introduce them to you. And so that's what I'm going to start doing, and I'm going to start doing that tonight. And what I'd like you to do is comment or let me know of similar people that you found that you might want me to do a review on, or that you want to bring up. But some of the ones that are a little bit more well-known, I'm not going to always talk about. Tucker Carlson maybe, or Joe Rogan. Some of these guys, they're not super fringe, they're well-known. So we kind of know about those, but I am going to go into some others that are a little bit more obscure, that you have to dig for a little bit, and give you places where you can find them, follow them, and be introduced to them, because I think it's beneficial to us. And let me say this, these people I don't always agree with 100%, and that's not the point. It's not the point to find somebody that you line up with perfectly in every facet of your belief system. But it is important to be exposed to ideas and people who are genuine in their search for truth, that are genuine in their beliefs and the things that they think about. And those are things and ideas that we should be exposed to, and we should be genuine in ours and our ability to search out what we believe to be true, and to develop our thoughts through questioning our own ideas and questioning those of others, instead of just canceling and silencing everybody that we don't agree with. And so with that said, there's some people that I believe are worth your time, and we're going to start talking about them. And I'm going to start tonight. If you know me, this will be no surprise, but he's almost like somebody I really, really respect, but Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. So he is a clinical psychologist who has a long history that I won't get into all of it, but he was educated and taught through Harvard. He had a long stint at the University of Toronto. And that was the place where he kind of came into prominence. He challenged some political and social ideas that were being promoted there, namely Bill C-16 out of Canada, which was a bill that was trying to legislate speech. Basically, it was one that said that you must, through legal force, use the pronouns that individuals dictated that you used. And he said, look, I'm very familiar with the history of these ideologies. They are full of pitfalls and terrible ideas. They lead to very, very bad places, and we should not go down this road. We should consider what we are doing. And so he started explaining himself and releasing some videos, and those videos got very popular. You can still find them on YouTube, I believe, if not other groups like Rumble, which, by the way, is an alternative to YouTube that you should check out, because now YouTube is silencing and, prohibiting some content from being exposed and released. So Rumble is one that's trying not to do that. But he's got some of those, and those are from 2015 and before, maybe 2016. But he got in big trouble for his opinion. He got put in front of the board of directors and, faced all the backlash that came with that. And then skipping ahead, he kind of hit it really, really big when he went on a Channel 4 News interview with Kathy Newman. It is known as the Kathy Newman interview. You can still find that one. Probably has close to 3 million views on it now. And the reason is because he does such an excellent job talking to her about the gender pay gap. She's questioning him about that, and he does a fantastic job of explaining very intelligently other alternative reasons for that, except, that it's not just misogyny or, the corporate, greed of white males, but there's potential for other reasons that we should consider that gap exists. And her questions and the way that he handles it is beautiful, and it's really, really perfect. So that launched him. He's very, people call him controversial, but that's only from the group of people who don't like what he has to say. I think he's probably one of the greatest minds that we have currently in regards to helping us think about things. He is becoming more and more spiritual. Like I said, he's a clinical psychologist, but he does biblical studies and lectures on the biblical stories. He has some answers regarding faith that I think are among some of the best. For example, when people ask him if he believes God exists, he says, well, it depends on what you mean by God, and it depends on what you mean by believe. Just beautiful ways of thinking. And, when the rest of us or the culture seems to be so quick to just, oh, of course I do, or to answer a question, he's very, very thoughtful. If you ever listen to a lecture of his and he takes questions at the end, he's very considerate about his thoughts when he forms an answer to the question. So he kind of got really big after the Kathy Newman interview, and now he tours all over the world doing lectures. He's written several books. Maps of Meaning is one of his first one, but that's more of a clinical book on psychology and the way that we gather meaning from life and develop those kind of thought patterns. This is probably the book. It might be backwards in my video, but it's 12 Rules for Life. This is the book that is a New York Times bestseller, over 4 million copies sold at the time. And it's beautiful. It's really well written. It's a great book to get you to think. One of his first rules is stand up straight with your shoulders back. And that comes off of his studies of lobster hierarchy. And so a lot of his followers will do lobster themed clothing and things like that because his history in that and the way that he relates that to how we could kind of interact with each other and gain confidence in the things that we do. He's since written another book that's called Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. And so he's got some authorship out there with some books. He is now currently joined up with the Daily Wire, which is another group that's worth checking out. That is an entertainment and news organization that has been started with Ben Shapiro, I believe, and his co-founder, Jeremy, and I cannot remember his last name, but he started a company, several different companies. Jeremy's Razors is one of them. And look, these are groups and people who have sprung out of the need for diversity of thought and actual truth seeking and narrative and news. And so, like I said, it doesn't mean I line up with everything perfectly that these people say or do, but I would tell you, Dr. Jordan Peterson, if you haven't listened to his lectures or watched any of his videos, you should spend some time doing it. At the very minimum, get the book 12 Rules for Life. It's fantastic. And give him some of your time. So he is person number one, and he is who I would say if I had one person that I could meet in my lifetime and have dinner with, it would definitely be Jordan Peterson. I would love to sit down and just talk to him about so many things, but he's such a genuine person. He's got a lot more in his history. He had a battle with health issues for quite a while. He's also has made some decisions that I don't always agree with regarding the COVID situation and how he handled some of that. So it's not like it's 100%, in my opinion, all the way across the board with everything, but he's a genuine individual and he's very much worth listening to. So check out Dr. Jordan Peterson. That's my person for this evening, and I will come back with some more people, products, or organizations that you need to check out. All right, be blessed.